All right, welcome to Rapid Fire Manufacturing. I have my doppelganger here, David Turner. Again, I don't know if we're related, but you never know.
Could be.
So he is the founder of Turner Process Solutions. They've been leading the process automation solutions since August of 2022, and they have a focus on electrical control systems, discrete manufacturing, and startup growth. So he brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. David, thank you so much for joining.
No, thanks for having me. I'm glad we were able to connect. That's great.
Yeah, I think IMTS would have been shut down if we were both there at the same time. So
It depends on what alternate reality theory you go with.
yeah.
Time cop theory, everything blow up.
All right, awesome. You ready to dive in here?
Absolutely.
So, in your experience developing electrical control systems, what have been some of the biggest challenges in ensuring that the systems provide reliable data for future production decisions?
I think the biggest challenge is knowledgeability of the process. Like defining what is important and what's not important. Because what we find is most people either want to automate everything and get as much information as possible, or do the bare minimum to get from point A to point B. So I think the biggest part is, knowing the process well enough on the customer side so that we can make good decisions about what's important and what's not long term, so that we can basically provide a solution that's going to be cost effective, because we don't want to automate you don't want to automate everything. You don't want to put sensors on everything if it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you're doing that, so do you typically go into the shop and I don't know the correct terminology, but you'll assess their entire operation and then decide what you need to automate and some things that don't necessarily need to be automated?
Yes. So we'll actually walk the plant floor and do a plant audit, and kind of discuss the statement of work of what they want and what their end goal is. Like, is their end goal improve production? Is their end goal reduce labor or headcount? Is their end goal quality improvements? So just defining what priority what are their priorities as far as manufacturing go? Is their priority their highest priority? And right now in this day and age, the highest priority is either improve production capacity or improve labor costs, so reduce headcount. So from those two, and quality is always going to be improved regardless of which way we go, just because if you take out the human element, or you add in digital checks, then you're improving the quality of the product anyways. But so we'll do a plant audit. We'll try to optimize the process on a sheet of paper first, whether it's spaghetti mapping or just identifying what's their biggest headaches, to eliminate those first, and then we'll go through and define the process as an automated process, and then pick and choose which ones are most important, which one's going to give the biggest bang for your buck, and then add in any sensor technology or automated steps to improve that overall. Because sometimes some temperatures, some speeds, they're nice to haves, but they're not critical to quality. And if you're trying to if you have a shoestring budget, which most people do, then those nice to haves, you can maybe we'll save some space later so that they can do it on expense budget versus capital, and we'll deploy cost effective solutions that way.
So, in other words, don't go around slapping sensors on everything and expecting that's going to improve. So you need to do the full audit and really determine what areas you should focus on, especially with budget constraints, right?
Right. You definitely need to have some upfront information and some upfront research before you start automating, because spending a little bit extra on the front end will save you a lot on the back end for sure.
Yeah, it's really good to know. Um, Overtime question. You ready for this one?
Absolutely.
So you started Turner Process in 2022. How have your priorities shifted in managing the company, especially, balancing technical development with overall business operations?
I think I've spent 20 years developing my technical knowledge and having someone else pay for it.
Mm,
So it was, from that side, I think we're really well suited. Most of the people on the team are, 10 to 20-year veterans in the industry as well. We have a couple of new people that bring some new insight for some other processes. But overall, I think, focusing on the business was initially fairly easy, to, just leaning into my network. We got a lot of business right out of the gate, and so we've been very effective with that. I think right now it's teaching myself marketing, because as engineers, we're terrible marketers, especially self marketers. Actually, I was listening to a guy yesterday, and he said, shy doesn't sell. It's, putting yourself out there. We've got to toot our own horns. So I think that's really where I'm growing the most is being able to tell my story, tell, Turner Process story, and getting our names out there with, and we have to toot our own horns, and show our expertise and show our wins, and because the customers don't know. They don't know who we are,
hmm
until we're in the plant and we show them, physically what we're doing, and they can see the wins for themselves. So that's been the biggest challenge, I think, from the, balancing technical development versus business is really that that key marketing piece, because you know there's marketing people out there everywhere, but very few are knowledgeable in our space and machine automation. And
hmm
so, you know, picking and choosing the marketing teams we work with and learning as much as I can, because we're still very small and growing. So that trying to grow more effectively, I think, from that standpoint. But from a technical development side, I think we're pretty well set. We've got a good team around us that has, that are smarter than I am with robotics and with PLC. So it's been really, really helpful to have the right people in place to be successful on the technical side. And now it's learning the other business aspects of really marketing, because quite honestly, there's so much, bookkeeping is bookkeeping. There's nothing new or novel about that. You just throw
hmm
numbers into QuickBooks and it spits everything out for you. But it's that really key marketing piece, because we're so niche that that's where it's hard to find people who are cost effective and, quite honestly, effective. So we found quite a few. We've tried some and failed, and so we're trying others, and I think we're seeing some good successes. So that's really what it comes down to. I should be the biggest salesman of the company, and I feel like I've got to pull myself out of the business and work on the business.
That's Yeah, and I feel like sometimes that comes down to comfort zone too. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
hard to step out and realize, hey, this is the way to market, is to work on branding yourself.
Hmm.
And I never understood the term until I switched to sales. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, but you have to ask. If you have a network, people are willing to help you out. And you said you leaned into the network for your business, and you've had success with that. So that's awesome to hear that.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was connected to quite a few on LinkedIn, but really leaning into that network has really helped, grow my personal brand and, you know, help, define who we are. and get some business and get some exposure. But it's really just the feedback I get from the that community really helps. It's like, hey, how's this looking? How's this working? Does anyone see anything wrong with this? And we're all equal here, on LinkedIn. It's so
Mhm.
it's just a good place to get some good honest feedback.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're up on time. So thank you so much, David. If you're interested, check out his LinkedIn. It'll be tagged in this. And stay tuned for more insights from industry experts. Thank you so much.
It's the dark haired David, not the
Yes.
blonde David.